like you. Thanks for your support. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, as always, Roy Kennedy, and with me, as always, is Matt.
Hello.
Matt's making funny faces at me because I messed up. Rob, what's going on?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, we mixed it up a little bit because, you know, trying to figure out what's going on with all these audio things. But hey, today we're going to be doing an awesome Q&A episode where we're basically just answering a bunch of different questions from people on social media, which should be a ton of fun. But we're also going to talk about things we've been playing. Hype!
Sweet. Do we have any news?
I was looking up to see if there was any new exciting board game news I was excited to talk about, and I didn't find anything that I wanted to add to the list after searching for a while on the internet. Did you have anything you wanted to throw out there, Rob?
Well, just for everybody to join me and back Monster Slaughter.
Which one is that one? Is that the one with the box that you can run around in?
Yes, yeah, it's basically an ice cool box.
Okay.
Where the box is the board. It's on Kickstarter. There's 36 hours left. And it is 1980s, where, you know, that classic cabin horror movie. However, this time you are the monster. And you have to destroy the college students, the 4 or 5 college students that are coming to disrupt the peace. And you're a family. Whether you're the Frankenstein family or zombie family or serial killer family or werewolves or Dracula and vampires and stuff. But it looks really cool. The box looks fun. I love the 3D box. And one of the stretch goals unlocked a tool shed, so you get a whole nether box to play stuff in.
Oh, nice.
But the concept seems really fun to me. And so I'm excited to back it. Minis and cards and stuff look cool. But it's just one of those games where it's an idea I know that Matt and I kind of kicked around in the past, and this is not exactly our idea, but I like the notion of being the bad guys, having to stop the good guys, and it just looks really funky. It looks really cool. Like it's not taking itself too seriously, right? Like it's got the cartoonish style graphics, and so I really like it. So that's Monster Slaughter by Ankama Board Games. Ankama or Ankama Board Games. So,
nice. Yeah, I remember seeing the board for that, or the box of all the different pieces, and remember it looked pretty cool. So definitely something to check out on Kickstarter. Do you know when it ends?
It ends in 36 hours.
So hey, if you're listening to the audio and you downloaded it like right when it was uploaded, you might have time. But hey, if you're watching this video, make sure to check it out.
Yeah, just I don't know. I'm on a Kickstarter kick. This year, and last year, and so we'll see.
And every year, and the year before that.
No, the year before that, it was just like Blood Rage and stuff.
Only Blood Rage and waiting for it to come in.
Yeah, and then I did the money yesterday on how much I've spent on Kickstarter.
Oh, no.
It's all good.
Don't say that number out loud.
Well, you guys remember I told you where I got the email saying, hey, Kickstarter loves you. You're a super backer.
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing my stuff, and at the time when I was a super backer, I'd only back I think 12 projects or something like that. Now I'm up to 15 those projects. But my buddy Lee, he was in town for Thanksgiving, and he just got the email for being a super backer. And so I asked him, oh, hey, how many projects did you back? And he said I got it on his 45th back project. So I managed to do in 12 what he did in 45.
So you just back it like at super high levels to give it to you that early, or is that how that works?
No, I just want all this stuff. Like if I'm going to do it, I just want all this stuff.
I
Right.
think I can find it like around 15-ish, so I'm not too far behind you.
Nice.
But that was mostly Kingdom Death, so
Oh,
Oh yeah, Kingdom
I
Death
bet.
is huge. Was that
That-
like $1,000?
that was like half a year super backer right there.
more.
Oh no.
Man.
Have you
Yeah,
done
so
anything?
far my biggest Kickstarter backing is like around $500.
Did you get your copy of Kingdom Death in, Matt?
Yeah. Hang on, let me get it off of the here.
So, do you have to assemble the miniatures?
Oh yeah.
Let me know if you need help or anything. If like you can't
my goodness.
play it,
That's like the Gloomhaven size box.
I know,
it's
man,
bigger than Gloomhaven.
it's
What are you talking
massive.
about?
It weighs about 17 pounds. It's huge. It's ridiculous.
Let me know if you need me to glue some minis together for you.
I was thinking about this one day, just getting together and having an assembly painting day because Hector like super wants to play this game, and I'm like, okay, yay, let's do that. Help friends. Otherwise, we're never playing this game because
Yeah,
will
it's
take
definitely
years.
assembly required for sure. I wonder how much you really need to assemble before like getting into it. Probably just like some characters
this
and
is all the minis, right?
they're straight up sprues.
Oh yeah, it's insane. I think to jump in, you really only need 5. I think they're the 4 starting survivors and then the first boss monster.
There's like
and
the
that's
white
it.
lion or whatever.
Yep.
Nice.
I know Steven wants to play because he got his too. So if you guys ever need another player, but I know Matt's group, you got a bunch of people.
We got a bunch of people who don't meet because it's Q4 and everybody's swamped.
Everybody's working at retail.
Yeah, man. It's not great.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can talk about some of the games that we've been playing recently. Do either of you guys have one you want to talk about, or you want me to jump in?
I didn't play anything. Let's get that out of the way. Next up.
You just
Boo.
you played the capitalism retail game.
Yeah, man. I played. Yep, we do have TVs. Believe it or not, a Target sells TVs. Do you have a specific one in mind, sir? Nope. Okay. Well, this is going to be a fun 5 minutes.
Nice. Well, I got a chance to play Planet Defenders from Renegade Games. This is a game where you are playing. There's these 3 robots on the board, and players are using battery cube things to activate these robots to go like either repair or stop these rogue robots that are on the edges of the galaxy. And basically you, on your turn, you start with a certain number of energy cubes, and you're allowed to activate any of the 3 robots that are out on the board. And they have these cool, like, chunky plastic miniatures for the 3 robots, and you can move. You can spend like a couple, like your first move with one of them is like 1 energy. And if you want to move a second one on your turn, it takes 2 energy. And all the different, there's these tiles that are randomly put out in a square shape pattern. It's like 9 tiles altogether, and you're going around collecting energy, and you need the energy to be able to defeat or to repair or fix the robots on the edge of the galaxy that are causing havoc, and that gets you points. And there's like set collection with the ones that you're getting. It's basically a game where you're getting cubes and using those cubes to get points by going to the right side of the galaxy and doing stuff. The interesting thing about this is that there's 3 different robots, but everybody controls all 3. So it's very much about like, okay, well, where can I move this guy to get these cubes, or where can I move this guy? I played it with my mom and dad, and my mom wrecked us in this game. Like, there's also these, like, I don't know if they're called like artifacts or just these upgrade cards you can get, and she got a bunch of the upgrade cards early and ended up getting way more cubes and stuff like that for everything she did than me and my dad did. And my mom wrecked us in Planet Defenders. But it was a pretty cute little game, pretty fun. I feel like maybe in like a year or 2, Scotty and Violet will be able to play this because it's just moving the little guys around and cutesy robots and stuff. But I think they're still a little bit too little to grasp the concepts of the set collection and stuff like that. But yeah, my mom was good at the Planet Defender robot game. which is fun. But yeah, it's
Sweet.
a game. I think it's actually came out like last year. I don't know if Renegade brought it over or if it's new for them, but it's like a little bit of an older game. But yeah, Planet Defenders, definitely cool little robot minis. Hype.
Boom.
Boom. And
I got to play in. I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast before, but I will say this is probably my new favorite deck builder game.
Oh yeah.
Outside of like a CCG or anything. I got to play Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
Oh yeah. I've heard great things.
Absolutely freaking loved it. Now, quick disclosure, it's the IP for me that makes it. Like, the game is fun, and I like the game, the components, and the way everything works, which I'll get into in a second. It works, but I don't think it would work as well for me without the IP. And so I super enjoyed it. I was playing with my friends who came into town for Thanksgiving, and my first game was we just jumped into book 6 because they haven't opened book 7 yet, but they like beat book 6 like a couple months ago, and like as a family they're playing it together, so they didn't want to do book 7 until like the wife got to play. Anyway, Hogwarts Battle from Harry Potter. It's a USopoly game, and what you're doing is you have 7 different books for the different books of Harry Potter, and you are playing the years or the movies or the books that have come out. And what I really like about it, as you progress, not only does your character progresses, but so do the enemies and so do your abilities. Like, for example, in the very first book, you are young Harry, who was just introduced to the wizard world. And then the second book, you get a little bit bigger, third book bigger, and so on, and so you get more abilities. I love that because it's like something that it feels more than just progressing by adding cards. Like, okay, like your enemies get harder, the quests get harder, and things like that. Like, I know it's gonna sound cheesy or whatever, but when I played, I felt like we were trying to stop Voldemort in book 6 to push him back to book 7. Like, I really felt like Hermione, because I had a lot of spells and I knew a lot of potions and spells. And one of the players was Harry, another player was Ron. But we just had a freaking blast. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to defeat all the enemies before all of the area tokens or all the area cards get filled with tokens. In the game we played, there was 3 areas, and they have on them, I want to say about 10 spots each to be filled. Once all 3 of those areas are filled with all 10 spots, then you lose the game. Those spots can get filled because you either get stunned or you get knocked out. A bad guy card could come in and tell you to fill up one of those spots. A certain event card could tell you to fill up one of those spots, but there's event cards that cancel them out. There's spells that can cancel them out. Super combinations that we were all playing and working off of each other. But I really enjoyed the game. In fact, as soon as I got done playing it, I ordered it.
Nice.
And my copy came in over the weekend. But it's one of those games where I think it'd be a good family game.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't play with my daughter who's 5 just yet, but maybe like if I had a 7 or 8 year old, and up, like as they started to read the books and get into it, I would definitely introduce them to this game. And again, it is 100% co-op. And so like we're all helping out each other, trying to do different things to make sure that we could complete the bosses and stuff. But one of the things that I like about combat and stuff is when you get items, you have to use everything your turn. Like if you have leftover money to like buy potions or allies or whatever, it's gone.
Yep.
Unless you use it your turn, it's gone. So you want to make sure that you use everything that you can. Or if you know that like, hey, I know I'm not going to have enough money coming up, but you just played that card that gives you and another character money, give it to so-and-so because I know they'll have enough money to be able to play the other stuff. And so it's such a fun game. I highly recommend it. And that is Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, Too Big, Wizarding Wands, Nucleosimosos, Avacadabra, up. Boom.
That's awesome.
I like it better than Legendary in other games like that. Like, I'd rather play this.
I haven't got a chance to play it yet, but I definitely think it's interesting how they introduce new mechanics as you unlock those different books as you work through the game.
See, that's what did it for me, is like the whole story. Like, you're playing through the story, how it just builds. That's what was so awesome to me. So
nice.
I'm excited.
Awesome. I played a few others. I got a chance to play our all-time favorite social deduction game, Deception Murder at Hong Kong. I taught it to my mom and dad and my cousin and her husband. And
hopefully that expansion's coming in soon.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited about that. But yeah, they loved it. Like, this was their first time ever playing Deception, and I was just like, okay, well, they're like, oh, what kind of thing is it? My mom and dad have played regular Werewolf before, but I'm pretty sure it's the only social deduction game they've ever played is like regular Werewolf. They played it at like a Halloween party a while back over at my house. But yeah, they really enjoyed it, and we basically took turns. Everybody played the forensic scientist, and we played it over and over and over again. It was a whole lot of fun. My mom was the murderer a couple times, and the first time we had her pegged and we figured out what she had, but the second time we knew it was her, but we still couldn't figure out what the item was, and she was mocking us after we were done because she's like, ha ha, I couldn't figure out what we were. But yeah, it was awesome because I've played that game with my wife and her family, and I played it with my family, and I feel like Deception can really work in like a whole lot of situations, just because a lot of those social deduction games, people would be shy, like would be scared of like all the different stuff. But with that board and stuff, it just makes it so much more intriguing and exciting to play the game. And everybody has fun playing the forensic scientist. The last game we played, my mom was a forensic scientist, and I felt like my dad was the murderer. And I'm like, he's accusing me pretty hard of stuff. I'm just like, I feel like it's him. But like, I was just very quiet. I didn't say anything. I just watched everything my mom put down for every little piece, and then immediately when she was done, before she had changed any of the tiles out, and I'm like, it's dad, and it's this one and this one, and just guessing as hard as I could based off what she put out there, and like immediately won. It wasn't as epic as Rob's play because I had to wait until they were all done.
Rob and AJ.
But I was very calculated in when I did it, and my dad's like, how'd you figure that out? I'm like, I just know my mom. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I could tell her thought process of what was going through when she was putting the things out and what she was pointing at. And because you were acting super sneaky, so I knew you were the murderer. I just had to figure out what she meant you did to do it. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, Deception Murder Hong Kong is still a awesome social deduction game. Like, if you don't have that game in your collection, I think you're just wrong at this point, right? Like, why don't you own Deception?
If you're a gamer and you like social deduction, you definitely need to have it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. If you're a gamer and you like social deduction, because I think for like brand new people, unless they played other games, like I would almost do One Night Ultimate Werewolf first or Resistance just to like teach them.
No,
but
that's harder to learn.
I think Deception's better. See, I think Deception Murder in Hong Kong is a little bit harder just because there's multiple elements.
No, it's easier, I think. I think it takes a little bit of the pressure off sometimes with the different things because you have those items.
I don't know, man. I think One Night Ultimate Werewolf, it's like probably the easiest social deduction game to teach.
But in One Night, if you get found out as the werewolf, the game's just over. In this one, you can get found out as the murderer, but they still have to figure out how you did it. So
I completely agree. I think it's a better game. I'm saying for first timers, people that have never played a social deduction game before.
I think you should start
with Deception. I don't know
if
that would be the one I'd introduce to.
I would 100% start with Deception every time. So it's really not that hard to teach either, like overall. Like it's just you just have the little 4 cards and things like that. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple.
Adam, do you mean Sheriff of Nottingham?
I don't know if I'd put that in the same category, but it has bluffing. So.
Yeah, it does have bluffing. I was going to say the same thing. I don't know if it'd be the same category, but I love Sheriff of Nottingham.
Dude, they have that expansion for Sheriff of Nottingham that I'd really like to try, but we haven't played Sheriff of Nottingham in forever. It'd be cool to get that expansion out and play some.
Did you get it?
No. One of these days, I'll be able to get games. But yeah, cool. Do you have any other games you want to talk about, Rob?
Did I talk about Modern Art last week when we played?
You haven't talked about playing it again since CMON.
I think it was actually after the podcast. It was either like Tuesday or Wednesday of last week.
Yeah.
We started playing around midnight. We played Modern Art, the new edition from Cool Mini or Not. Absolutely love the game. For those that don't know, it is a bidding style game where at the end of the game, you're trying to be the museum with the most money. The basis of the game is you are a museum, whether you're in New York, Madrid, Los Angeles, Barcelona, France, or a couple of other spots. You are a museum, and you're trying to invest well in these different paintings to get a lot of people to come to your museum to check out the art. And as you buy paintings, they're also worth money at the end of the game, and so that's how you get your money back. It's a lot of fun. I love the bidding mechanisms on it, especially when it's an open bid. I love either getting screwed over or screwing people over. You know, at that last second, just I bid this, I bid that. I mean, there were a couple times where we had the bids over 100, which 100's a lot in that game. And I think one of them was only for like one painting.
Yeah.
But I needed it because I had like 3 of the other paintings, so I was gonna score mighty handsomely at the end of the round. So Modern Art, it plays, I want to say up to 5 people. It's either 5 or 6 people from Cool Mini or Not. It is a reprint. It's an exact reprint. So if you've played the past versions, it's the same thing, just with new art, new box. I did not know that until we got back from Cool Mini or Not Expo this year, because I played it at Cool Mini or Not Expo and I absolutely loved it there. I just thought it was funny and silly. And so we played it again, and again we had a blast. And I actually won this time, which I've not won in the past. So that was also a big plus. But Modern Art, quick, fun game. And if you like to yell at people, like that's a game I always find myself just like yelling at people, like, no, what are you doing? No, like don't do that. Or getting mad at people when they like do like the one, you know, when you can go around and you have to make the price as the auctioneer that time, and if nobody bids on it, you get it.
Pick the
so
price.
They'll bid like 20.
Yeah.
And it's like an amazing painting. And it's not that the painting's amazing, but like it itself, the buyout will give you like 40. And so they're like, I bid 20. It's like, what are you doing? But that was also because like the girls were getting a little upset at me and Lee, because we were actually doing pretty good. And so at one point, my wife and his wife kind of linked their money together, because they sat right beside each other, and they anyway, they started to have fun, and they were being silly. It was late at night, but we had a blast. Fun game, Modern Art. If you like bidding. If you don't like bidding games, don't get it, because the whole entirety of the game is different formats of bidding.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool how there's different styles of bidding.
Yeah, but it's like 4 different styles. There's blind bidding, there's open bidding, there's an auctioneer bidding where they place one.
There's once around or whatever.
And then, yeah, there's the once around where, like, all right, you set a price, and if the next person can beat it, then they just go from there. So, anyway.
Nice.
MooseCon Mini. You're having a MooseCon Mini and you didn't invite us, Mark? You know what? Forgive her. Whatever,
It's
Mark.
probably because you beat him to Ashes too much. He's scared.
Bro, I beat him so bad when
He's
we
so
played
scared.
Ashes that time. Well, hold on, real quick. Is somebody saying, would Game of Thrones or Battlestar be social deduction? First of all,
Battlestar has a social deduction element.
Game of Thrones is not.
Game of Thrones doesn't have
social
any social
deduction
deduction in it at all.
But who is saying? Are you guys saying that Battlestar Galactica is better than Game of Thrones?
No.
Am I misreading that?
Yes.
I'm about to say Matt would agree with that times 100. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I've only played Game of Thrones once. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Man,
I think it would be fun to
love
play
Game of
again.
Thrones. I'm hoping freaking Fantasy Flight gets their act together.
I like Game of Thrones. I think it's higher. I think Battlestar is higher on my list than Game of Thrones though. So.
Well, yeah, you don't have the history with Game of Thrones. You didn't go pee one time playing Game of Thrones, and then everybody aligned against you to start selling lion squid shirts.
I do like Game of Thrones though. I think
Lion
it's a
wolf
solid
squid
game.
shirts. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, man. Rob, are you ready? Here's my pitch for the new Game of Thrones, right? So they come out with an expansion with the entire other continent where the Dothraki and stuff are, and
Yes.
you're like, hey, cool, you can play over there. And then they come out with a third expansion that's entirely just White Walkers, and then
Yes.
it plays like Warring Colonies because they already own Dead of Winter.
Yes. Done. I'd buy it. I'd buy it all.
It's great.
Bro,
That'd be
I would absolutely. That's exactly what I want. Actually, I would love an expansion that goes east, across the sea, and then I would love an expansion that brings in the White Walkers.
Yeah.
Like that would be so amazing. But the White Walkers can't come in until like turn 2 or turn 3. But then they're just like coming in force. Like that would be so amazing. Oh my gosh.
I really wonder why they just haven't done anything more with that. It's insane.
Because they're focused on other stuff. I will say this though.
You gotta play that 9-player version.
I wonder
think
if
what?
they're a little wonky with the license, because I noticed at work today, like there was Game of Thrones Settlers of Catan, and I'm like,
Oh, they
okay,
have that. They made that.
Cool. We're slapping that just on everything. So wait, Fantasy Flight made that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is a
Oh,
Game of
okay.
Thrones.
So
Game of
they
Thrones
still
Settlers of Catan is a Fantasy Flight game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Fantasy Flight bought out the Catan license and all that stuff. They bought that company.
Asmodee did, but yeah.
Asmodee.
And they're pretty much
so
the same
it's all
thing.
it's all part of the stuff. But that's actually, I've never played Catan before, but I would play that Catan.
It looks cool. It looks really cool because it's got the wall and everything. It looks like there's a lot of different aspects than regular Catan.
That's good.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I want to pick it up if it ever drops in price. I'm not paying $80 for it, but
yeah, when I first saw it, I thought the exact same thing, Matt. I'm like, they're just slapping Game of Thrones on stuff. But when you actually look at it, it's like, oh, well, there's this whole wall aspect and like fighting off the undead / wildlings and giants and stuff like that. So it's like, this seems interesting, but I don't know how that plays into all the rest of the stuff. Oh my goodness, somebody please. Okay. That was terrifying.
yeah.
I don't know how to even get that off the screen now.
Thank you, Adam Sparks.
Real easy. Hang on.
And my idea that I love for Monster is not to that comment. It's to the Lionel Squid.
Just like that, it's done.
I hid the chat for a second. Everybody
Matt,
get
what are you
them
doing, bro?
periods.
What?
There we go.
Because the chat's in the video now.
There you
so
go.
it was literally
Thanks,
just
Matt.
that name was just there.
Got it.
So I was like, this is the quick way to make it go away.
I don't know if it actually showed it in like the actual chat for everybody else, but since it shows me the thing, and it probably shows you guys because you're moderators,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna
Yeah.
rewind the video and be like, "What was that?" Oh, so insane. Hey, the perks of doing a live show. Good times.
Hey man, hashtag bouncy though.
Is that what it
Hashtag
said?
bouncy.
Was it hashtag bouncy? Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
Bro, my neck is like all weird right now after doing all those stretches.
Cool. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get into all these questions we have from
Yep.
listeners, and we might try to answer some from chat and stuff like that as well, as long as they're appropriate.
Oh, Adam, you took my breath away, bro. Adam, you dead for a second.
Nice. So James Ecker asks, have you ever traded or sold a game out of your collection and ever regretted doing so? If so, what was the game? Rob regrets selling off his Kickstarters that he got in. I'm just kidding.
I've only sold off one.
I'm just kidding.
And actually, if it were any game, it actually would be that game.
You regret it?
Yeah, I regret selling Massive Darkness.
I don't regret you selling Massive Darkness. No, just kidding.
Well, I regret it for a couple reasons. One, the game that's replacing it is not here yet, and so I'm not playing that game either. And two, after looking back at everything, like I had basically sold mine like 5 minutes after the box hit my doorstep. I was like, all right, I'm just going to sell this. And then once I started unboxing everything, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so much stuff. And it just looks really cool. I just like the minis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I've regretted the most. like some of the other games I've sold, I haven't regretted selling War of the Ring or any of that stuff. Maybe some of the prices, I wish I would have asked more.
Yeah.
But like if I want to play those games, I'll just go to Roy's house because there's no point for him and I both having a huge epic game.
Especially when you
like,
know it's my favorite, and I'll be able to remind you of all the rules all the time.
Now, if there's like, if he had Game of Thrones and I had Game of Thrones, I'm gonna keep mine.
Yeah, because
and
you can
he'll
play that
keep
with
his one.
anybody.
That's not as big an epic, and plus I'll play that with other people. But I know if I ever play like Twilight Imperium and Roy's not involved, something bad happened.
To Roy.
Or if I play like War of the Ring or something, like I'd want to play with Roy, if anything, because I don't want to learn the rules, and he'll just teach me the rules every time. Like, this is what you do, and this is this.
Yep.
And so, yeah, but I would say the only one I've regretted, and I even did, like, I almost backed out of the deal too. Like, I remember he started asking me all these questions, and I was like, just shut up and buy it. Like,
do you say I've altered the deal? Don't make me alter the deal any further.
Well, he didn't want to necessarily alter the deal, but he wanted a line item by line item, everything that was included. And I said, it's these boxes and these expansions. Well, what all does that include?
Look at the
these
Kickstarter.
Boxes, these expansions. Well, what all is in that? Look it up in the Kickstarter, bro. Like, shut your mouth. Like, I don't, like, I almost backed out of the deal. I'm glad I didn't because I spent money on other stuff. But,
yeah.
Anyway.
Nice.
How about you?
I've actually traded and gotten rid of like a ton of stuff, but I don't know that there's anything that I like actually regretted. Because normally the only reason that I get rid of a game is if I look at it and I'm like, I don't think I want to play this anymore, or I don't plan on playing it anymore. Or it's just like I've either played the game too much or I played the game and didn't really enjoy it. I've never really gotten rid of anything that was like new before I had a chance to play it. Or figure out if I liked it enough. So I don't think I have any regrets on games that I would ever like want to rebuy or re-own that I got rid of that I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, I was thinking about this question. Nope, they're dead to me. They're all dead to me.
See, I don't know that I would rebuy it. I don't know if I'd rebuy Massive Darkness, but I definitely regretted. I mean, I'm over it now, but I've definitely regretted selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's like.
Do you think your regret would have been lessened if you actually had played your copy, or no?
I think it would have been because I like Zombicide. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I could answer the way I was about to answer. Here's the thing. I only played a scenario where the creators of the game were like, hey, just throw this together and let us know what you guys think of the movement. It wasn't even a real scenario. They just threw in a monster and they were teaching us the mechanics. And so based off of that was the reason why I did not hold on to the game.
Yeah.
However, it's a dungeon crawler. It had a ton of plastic. I mean, Matt, my box had so much plastic. It was like almost 35 pounds, like all of my stuff together. It was huge.
Yeah, but none of that is Stranger Things characters, so.
No, but I'm just saying, though, like, going back, if I had played it, I don't know, just because I haven't played, like, a full mission or anything, but I already know that I love Zombicide. And I was like, seriously, once 11 came out for Zombicide Green Horde, and it showed her with the Eggo in her hand, I backed it. That's as soon as I backed it. Not even the dragon. Once I started to see the Stranger Things, and once I saw 11, they took my money.
That's awesome. A game that I didn't sell or get rid of. It's the game that was one of our Patreon giveaway games, Crystal Golem. I miss because I don't have Crystal Golem to play anymore. We shipped it off to New Zealand.
I do.
The awesome thing is, after the guy won, he was our very first ever patron, which was awesome. And like I was like, hey man, I need your address. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm in New Zealand. Like if you want to give it to somebody else because it's too expensive to ship, like let me know. I'm like, no man, you are our first ever patron and you won the game. I'm shipping this thing to New Zealand. So it's probably like the only copy of Crystal Golem in New Zealand because the shipping to ship stuff over there is so expensive. But I'm stoked that he got the game because it's awesome that he backs us on Patreon. But yeah, now you need to bring over your copy of Spice Road so we can play Matt because I miss Century.
Yeah.
You know what I miss?
Did you get Crystal Golem, Rob?
Yeah, I got Crystal Golem, bro. I don't do that Century stuff. I don't do that nice, pretty art. I do that crazy, that exclusive.
I want to see Matt's playmat in action.
Oh yeah.
Is it the Crystal Golem playmat?
No, he got the other one.
Yeah.
Ah, man, get that stuff out of my face. I only want Crystal Golem stuff.
When I saw Emerson and Unplugged, I was wanting to be like, "Hey man, you're gonna have Crystal Golem," but I was like, he probably gets that question a lot. So,
Was Plan
Yeah,
B
but
there?
he doesn't get asked that question a lot by a man with such fine hair as yourself.
oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, chat just
I
keeps
don't know
talking
if
about how
that's gonna-
fabulous Matt looks today.
Yeah.
All the ladies are swooning in chat. It's crazy. Especially the ones Matt's hair brings all the crazy comments. Awesome. So the next one is from Board Game Crush. They said want. I'm pretty sure that's because I posted hey, we'll give away some dice if you ask us questions. So hey, they want our Epic Gaming Night and Favorite Game Friday dice, which is awesome. But yeah, that doesn't make any sense in the context of the things. But I just copied and pasted it in there anyway, so I thought it'd be fun. So hey, if you're ever interested in learning about what's coming up in the podcast and maybe getting chances to win some exclusive stuff sometimes, make sure to check out our Instagram at Epic Gaming Night and our Facebook and our Twitters. Because hey, it's cool to hit you guys up.
I
over
like
there
what
and talk
Trevor
to you guys.
Roberts doing here. Let's just Crystal Golem all the boring Euro games.
Yes.
I'd probably buy those games.
Honestly, I mean, I don't know who enjoys that just like dirt brown look. Like, hey, we need less just brown games. I mean, they're fine, but like, hey, let's have some liveliness and crazy, awesome looking art and different themes. Or even if you keep the same theme, just make it look good would be cool.
Yeah. Man, you know what? I'm all for playing some like 18xx games in Crystal Golem style with Ambi. That sounds super good.
18xx games, Crystal Stone,
Yeah.
Crystal Golem ones. Man, that'd be some blinged out trains, bro.
Even if it's just trains that are hauling golems across whatever terrain you happen to be at, that would be cool.
Hey, Darth, I like that idea. A new T-shirt idea. We need fewer brown games.
that
I mean, we can't make that shirt. We here on the podcast know what that means, and it's not racial at all or anything like that. But I would not be caught wearing that shirt outside.
Yeah. Anyway, so KSIG273 asks, what's the oldest game in your current rotation, and what about it has kept it there? So I'm not sure
Like the
what current rotation
oldest
means.
game?
And whether they mean like what game has been the longest in your collection of games that you play, or whether they mean like the age of the game itself. Probably what game have you had around for the longest that you still play currently, is what I'm taking this question to mean.
Okay. Yeah, because like if we were to do like the oldest game, heck, whoever has Monopoly in their collection. Like
Well-
Monopoly's been around since forever.
Well, what is the game that you're still playing all the time, Rob, or you still are actively wanting to play or still really like, that was the first to enter your collection?
Well, the first to enter my collection?
Yeah, that you still like held on to and are still like wanting to like get to the table and play. I know for me, like one of the very first board games I ever got was, or at least as far as modern board games, was Robo Rally. I remember I got my copy of Robo Rally because I won a redemption tournament and traded in the packets that I got for credit at the little booth that they had there, and they had Robo Rally, so I got
you, Darth.
I got credits for my my redemption packs that I won and turned them into Robo Rally. And I had that game for forever. So it was before I was even really like a board gamer, but I had Robo Rally. And I'd play Robo Rally now. It's an awesome game. I'd still play that game. That game's amazing. So have you ever played Robo Rally, Rob?
I have not. I don't know the programming stuff.
I think you'd
Like
like
I
it.
liked it in Mechs and Minions. I thought it was okay, but
It's a lot quicker in Robo Rally.
Yeah.
We need to get you in on it because I know Matt likes it.
Yeah. It's good. I feel like it can go a little long sometimes, but as
Yeah.
long as it's under an hour, it's all right.
And it plays okay with a lot of people, which is pretty fun. It's very chaotic.
Would you say you're not a true hobby gamer until you've played Robo Rally?
No, I would not.
No? Okay. I was trying to do it for you, Darth. I'm sorry, bro.
I would never say anybody's not a true gamer unless they played any game, because there's so many other games.
I would
that
say
are
you're
awesome.
not a true hobby gamer until you smack somebody's hand for touching your components after they've eaten something and didn't wipe their hand off.
Maybe you just have more courteous friends, and you just never had that situation come up.
Or you just bring like dry food snacks. You don't bring like wet food snacks and then touch somebody's cards or something like that.
Cheetos
Like,
are dry, right?
Cheetos are dry. Yeah.
Don't touch my components with Cheeto hands. No. So what about you, Rob, for oldest game?
I'll probably have to say I've replaced this with a newer edition, but I played this version of the game like as far away as 3 years ago. And that is Axis and Allies. I actually have the 1983 edition, which is the year I was born.
Nice.
And it's an anniversary edition because the game itself is a very old game. But I think last year I got a newer edition just because in the new edition they added one or two more vehicles, and so I wanted those vehicles. But Axis and Allies, I love the game. I love the history. I love doing all the craziness behind it. And it's one of the first games I ever played, like Risk and Axis and Allies, which I think Risk may be older, but I don't want to count Risk because then it'd be like saying Monopoly as well. Axis and Allies was like a true crazy game that offered a lot.
Yeah.
And so Axis and Allies, I actually have the box. It's behind me on my shelf. It's a big old box. It's beat up and stuff, but I don't think I'll ever sell that version of it. Just means a lot.
Awesome. What do you think about you, Matt? The oldest game that's currently in your
the
rotation.
oldest game in my 8-month-old catalog.
No, you've been doing this podcast for 2 years.
Yeah. I remember I bought some small games, but I don't remember in what order.
Or was like Blood
first-
Rage your oldest game?
Just Rhino Hero.
I think Rhino Hero, actually, the one I'm thinking of, I remember specifically because I expected it to be a small box game, and then it got here and it wasn't. But that's Deception. Rhino Hero might have come before that, but it's one of those two, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Deception or Rhino Hero or another small game that's basically... I don't even know. I don't know. I was trying to look around, but my room is an absolute mess, so I have no idea.
Nice. I know you got One Night pretty early, too.
Ooh, that's a good question
yeah.
from Darth. Did you guys see that question?
Which one?
His newest one. If you were asked to contribute a story, mechanism, or other element to Betrayal Legacy, what would it be?
Oh, like
And I
actually
put the
have
game
one of the
and stand
stories in there?
strength room.
What was that, Matt?
You stand in the or you win the game if you stand in the strength room for a couple of turns.
Right, but you can't move and you can't tell
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that's why you're doing it. It's like a secret win condition.
You're just sitting there getting jacked, and everybody else is trying to like pull you out of the room.
Matt's
Push
just
you out of the room,
lifting
something.
weights.
You can't dodge me. Yeah.
Dude, what story would be the best to add into Betrayal Legacy? Because you know it's going to have all
See,
sorts of crazy
I don't know
stuff.
if I would add a story, but like the mechanism that I would love to do is the first thing that popped in my mind when I read that question is, all right, what if like remember that game where we played where Hector had to kill my character,
Uh-huh.
right? So let's say he succeeded and then my character died. Let's say it was almost like a Harry Potter kick where my soul was split, and now like the soul of your character, if they die, you still get to keep playing with your character, but now your soul split or whatever comes back as a ghost that does extra damage to you because you allowed yourself to die in the past. And maybe like on Risk Legacy, how you could upgrade your armies and add different stuff, you can do that to that monster as well. And so every time you upgrade your character, you also have to upgrade your separate ghost soul split, so it makes it even harder enemy to destroy. I think that'd be kind of cool. So it's like you don't necessarily want to die,
Yeah.
but if you do, like part of you is going to come back, and it's just going to get harder and harder to kill that thing.
So,
I don't know. That was the first thing that came into my mind.
So beat up the people that are already losing. So you lose and then
Well,
you
it's
can
not
lose
so
some
much.
more.
No, they get to still upgrade as well, but you're adding a new monster to the mix. But now the
Nice.
monster is Roy 2, and so if that card ever comes out where Roy 2 comes out, we know, okay, we want to keep Roy away from it because it's going to do extra damage to Roy. Because Betrayal, outside of the one person who becomes a bad person, it's a co-op game. Everybody else is working together. So it's not like a beat up on the one, you know. And if you become the monster, then that card doesn't affect you because you're already the bad person anyway.
They can do so many crazy things with that game. I hope it's good. Like, I really hope it's good.
Yeah.
I would love to see like a conversion thing. So like the traitor, instead of being like traditional trope, is like some sort of like crazy cultist, and then like if you're like ever like alone in a room with him and like more than 3 spaces away from somebody else, he turns you into a cultist and now you're with him and you're like, You're just run down the hallways like, let's do this. But then the other people can turn them back. So it's just this constant war of like, hey man, what are you doing?
It's like,
are you crazy? Where'd you get those robes from? What's happening right now?
It's like tag where you can freeze and unfreeze your teammates.
Yeah.
Nice.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah. Just running around.
It would take probably way too long, just because it would be just a back and forth for 6 hours, and people go, "Yeah, this is dumb. I'm done."
Nice.
But I think it'd be fun for a little bit anyway.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know of anything specific. I just want it to be good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right.
So,
hey, Matt, real quick, do you have the Baldur's Gate thing?
No,
the
I don't
new
have
one.
I'm probably gonna get it, like in the next week or two.
It looks cool, but you know,
I saw somebody unboxing it the other day, and it looked really cool to me. And because I sold my Betrayal stuff, which I'm not sad by that or anything, but I was like, it was a fun little game. So, anyway, sorry.
I saw a bunch of people playing it at Unplugged, and I thought about just asking them, like, "Hey, man, are the rules any better?" Or just this, or how the scenarios are written, but
I hear there's a lot, like maybe like 50% of them in this one compared to the first one end up where you're like cooperative against the game itself. Like the traitor doesn't happen as much in this one, but yeah, I've heard good things, so I don't know. Should be cool.
yeah.
Sweet.
Meeple Overboard asks, do you have a go-to game you like to introduce to people when you don't know much about their tastes? Thanks. Deception Murder Hong Kong. I just been teaching that game to everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. Let's play Deception Murder Hong Kong.
Pretty solid.
I mean, it's worked out so far. Like, everybody I've played it with has enjoyed it. Even when they like literally do not play games, they still enjoy it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't typically, if I'm ever in that situation, I have multiple games with me, and I just ask one question. I go, "Hey man, do you like stacking blocks?" And if their answer is yes,
Junk Art.
it's like Junk Art, Rhino Hero, something like that.
I think Codenames.
I think dexterity games. Oh yeah, Codenames is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say for non-dexterity games, it's basically for me Codenames or any other social deduction game like Werewolf or Secret Hitler or Deception.
Yeah,
I don't know.
People party game. Like I don't know. I would do like either Super Rhino Hero, which we played the other day, and we used every card but 2.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That's insane.
It was huge. It was absolutely huge. It was awesome. I'd either do like a Super Rhino Hero or like a Wits and Wagers. I mean, unless I did something like Matt did and asked some questions first. I'm all over the board with that question. Like I've introduced gamers who've never played games before, and the first game we ever played was Dead of Winter. And I've had other people where the first game we played was like Rhino Hero, or which was a fun one we did like 3 weeks ago. Happy Salmon.
Yeah.
Bro, hit another kid again playing that game. Still had a blast.
Again?
Still didn't care. Oh man, they were like playing ping pong behind us, and my butt, bro. These cheeks, man, just smacked them. But that's why I'm doing yoga now. To not necessarily get rid of the cheeks, but to be able to bend them in so they don't hurt other people. To be able to stretch them in.
They're just too much to keep under control.
Bro, got a lot of cheek.
Awesome. Cool.
See, Werewords, I don't know if I would do Werewords. I would rather do One Night Ultimate for a first one.
I play games all the time, and I played Werewords and was like super like under I was not in any sort of shape to play that game. Everybody had played Werewords a ton of times, and I had never played Werewords, so I just sat there just being like, I don't know what to ask. Everybody's asking everything too quickly. I have no clue what's going on. So I feel like Werewords is good if you have a bunch of people that are on the same level or the same experience with the game. But I feel like if you're new in Insider or Werewords and have never played them, and everybody else knows what's going on, you might feel a little bit confused and left out. I don't know. Because it can go quick when everybody's just throwing out questions like crazy. You're just like, I don't know what sort of thing to ask or do.
Bro, when are we going to play Blood Rage again? Freaking watching these videos and seeing people. I haven't played it in forever, man.
Yeah. We'll play it when the expansion comes out.
What expansion?
I'm
Blood Rage?
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Bro, I want to play that game so bad. We haven't played it since Cool Mini or Not Expo, and like I think it's quickly becoming like my favorite area control game.
It's solid.
It's good.
I don't
it's
know if I
faster
enjoy
than
that
other
hard.
ones though. That's the thing.
It's the draft,
It's
man. I freaking love that
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah.
I feel like it's all the stuff you get from Risk minus the dice rolling, but just in an hour or two time frame as opposed to 6, depending on how you're playing.
Yeah, because the game is only 3 rounds. Like, regardless of what life happens, because in Risk, it could go all day like Monopoly, where somebody stalemates in Australia, which, Ashley, we love Australia and New Zealand. They're great. Love Lord of the Rings. But that could happen where in this game, you've got the 3 rounds. I mean, I don't know. Just the more and more I think about that game, I think I'm also like itching to play it because I'm super excited to play Rising Sun. You guys have played Rising Sun. I haven't played it yet. But man, I just want to get like a big epic game. To me, that's like epic enough without taking up 3+ hours.
Yeah.
What is Adam working on t-shirts? All right, I'm opening up.
No, it's not a t-shirt. He literally made the Lion Wolf Squid a D&D monster.
Nice.
What?
This whole thing is solid.
That's awesome.
Let me look this up real quick. Lion Wolf Squid, large beast, unaligned. Bro, I love this. Bathroom.
Awesome. So, Volt Jamie asks, giant board games look like they could be the next trend. Giant King Domino, Giant Takenoko, Giant Rhino
Adam,
Hero,
you're
Giant
killing
Flick 'em Up, Giant
I can't breathe.
Codenames. What other board games could you see getting super sized? I don't know that
Oh my
giant
gosh.
board games are the next trend. I
like
think they're
like a Rhino
convention
Hero
thing.
giant size like that?
Yeah, I don't think there's a trend of it. Like I don't think that.
They're not allowed in the U.S.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
But they're cool.
You know what'd be cool to see one giant size? Colt Express.
You think?
Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty
Well,
cool.
just because it's so small, I have not played that game because people say, "Hey, love the game, it's a blast." But if you play the game, your hand's gonna knock over everything. And with these banana fingers, I just don't play it because that's gonna get really annoying. So it'd be fun to see if they made a bigger Colt Express. Freaking Adam, you're killing me, man. Now my head hurts coughing all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. What would I like to see giant size the most? There was something. There's a ton of awesome games. that
Hey,
you can
Adam, text that to me.
Make
Text
giant.
that. I'm trying to save it on my computer. It's being stupid. If you don't mind, just text that to me.
I want to. I would like to see giant Goku, just
Oh,
because I want
man.
an egg. I want an egg that's like this big, like not like a normal egg size. Like I want like
Throw
ostrich
those
egg.
sticks though.
Yeah, man. Where you,
Dude, just
You're
get like
basically
a
playing-
trash can and then
Yeah.
like giant dowel rods and then like
Absolutely.
giant eggs.
get it, and go. It's like, dude, can you imagine? So how many bars these days have giant Jenga, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you just imagine giant Goku out in the bar area? People are just like, yeah, man, everything's fine. The egg falls down. It's like,
You might have to make sure those sticks aren't super sharp though, because somebody might get impaled on one of them.
True.
Impaled on the nest.
Oh man.
I wonder if it'd be hard to do if like the sticks were like hanging out too much. If you'd be able to reach into the nest to be able to still put the stuff on there. You could do it as long as you didn't make it too giant.
Yeah. Oh man, Ambi said Plaidhead should make a giant stuffed Fables with actual stuffed animals. That'd be great.
That would be great.
Can you imagine that though? That would be perfect for like your kids. You're like, hey, look, play a story. Here, take Tim Tam the bear back to bed.
So I know you missed that episode, Matt, but the game actually sounds like a lot of fun, and that would be really cool.
I was looking at it at Unplugged, but unfortunately there were lines around the entire Fantasy Flight booth to play anything, so I was just like,
yeah.
Man, this looks great. I guess I'll play it whenever.
Well, I pre-ordered it. It should be out this year.
Yeah.
There we go.
Super exciting.
I will say that. That's one thing, and it's not a rant. It's actually a good thing. I don't know what happened, but it seems like freaking Plaid Hat Games, their version of Fantasy Flight Games or their end, ever since, like, let's say September, like a couple weeks after Gen Con this year, they've just kind of like picked up steam, and it's almost like they didn't have that year-long hiccup. Like now, Ash's stuff is coming out regularly. Now announcements for other games are coming out regularly. News media, and it's like, okay, we're announcing it, and here it comes. Rather than we're announcing it, and we're not telling you when it's coming. Like, super, super cool stuff. And even though he didn't officially say when next year, the Space Crossroads game is coming out next year. Like, I'm excited to see all this stuff happen.
I still love when he said the name of that, and he made this face like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have said that. and then Rob was like, what? This game? What? This game? I was just like, oh man, Rob, it's so hilarious. Rob's going hard. And Jerry was
I was excited.
Jerry's like, it's a game. We don't have to worry about the title, because he said like G7 or something. I don't remember. You have to go back and listen to the Jerry Hawthorne episode, but he leaked the name of the next Crossroads game on there, and Rob was drilling him pretty hard. It was pretty funny.
Doing it for you, Matt.
He's like, Jerry, you're the man. You're the man, Jerry. It was pretty awesome.
Thanks, man. I never told you the story about like what happened at the concert, but like the concert was good. Leading up to the concert was terrible. And then I get out of the concert and I'm like, okay, you know what? All things considered, it's a pretty balanced evening. And I get in my car and I literally get a text from you at like 11. And you're like, hey man, Lost in Space coming out next year. And I was just like, yes, here we go. I just got to make it home. Everything's fine.
That's awesome.
Life will be okay.
Jerry had posted pictures of them playtesting it like last year sometime. Maybe it wasn't last year. Maybe it was like the beginning of this year. But I was they're still
this
actually.
This has been a long
stuff.
year. Like every year is long, but this has been a long.
This has been a long. A lot of stuff has happened. It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think Isaac. I saw pictures of him at what is it? BGG-Con? What was going on during PAX Unplugged? Or
yeah, I think
something.
Plaid Hat stayed at BGG.
Yeah, because he was showing off the Starship Samurais that like people were playing with like the minis and stuff, and I was like, man, that was cool.
It does. I'm ready for them to open that up on their store.
So awkward thing happened today. I get a thing on Facebook Messenger that says Isaac Vega accepted your message, and I'm like, what does that mean? And I went and looked, and there was a message from me messaging Isaac on Facebook from 2012, being like, oh man, you like anime? That's awesome. You should totally make a Naruto or Trigun game. I would play it. I can't wait to play some of your games when they finally come out, Isaac. And I was like, whoa, that's cringy. Because literally it was from 2012, and he just now accepted the message. I was like, hey man, did you just accept this message? Seems pretty cringy now. And he's like, yeah, I have a ton of these messages that I don't know why they didn't go through. But this one had a special place in my heart, so I had to accept it. And I'm like,
Aw.
But I thought it was pretty funny because I'm like...
That dude is amazing. That whole company.
Because I like messaged... That was back when I used to listen to the podcast before he ever even released any games. And I was all like, I can't wait to play some of your games, Isaac. And I'm like, wow, 2012.
Oh my gosh. Adam, was the art on the other one that you put on there? Guys, was there art for the Lion Wolf Squid on the one he posted in there?
Does it look like a Demogorgon?
He said he added it.
Bro, this thing is gorgeous.
Just a squid with like a lion or like a wolf head with a lion's mane.
It's almost like a wolf body per se, but like with a lion head. But the mane, instead of being a mane, it's like squid tentacles. But it's coming out.
Right.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. It's gorgeous.
Okay.
Nice.
See you, Daniel.
So Lloyd Fox asks, he says he has 12 Days of Christmas, Letters to Santa. Are there any other fun Christmas games that you can recommend besides Blood Rage, of course? I guess that was a stab at Matt.
Hey man, I
Are
think
you saying like Christmas specific games?
I guess Christmas themed games. I don't think there's that many. Mostly because if you make
Dead
a
of
game and you
Winter.
publish it. Say what?
Dead of
in
Winter.
the winter, it's got
Yep.
Santa Claus.
Yep, you got to play Dead of Winter.
And
Bro.
if not, if your family's a little weird, go for Mansions of Madness. You can retheme it.
Freaking Dead of
They
Winter
got the
Santa
song
Claus.
outside.
You actually gain morale when Santa dies. I love it.
Because he's like a mall Santa that's like a drunk.
I know, and he's
everybody
all
hates
drunk.
He's also super drunk.
him.
Gain like 2 morale. It's like it's very important sometimes to get him and to kill him in that game.
You can play Ice Cool as a Christmassy game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just gonna do like a cold theme, sure.
I mean, there's not that many games that are specifically themed as Christmas itself.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can think of any off the top of my head. And if there are
Yeah.
more, they're probably not good. But yeah,
Boom.
most people are probably wanting to publish games that you can play all year round as opposed to 1 month. Awesome.
And man, Christmas doesn't die for some people.
Bro, I would take Christmas all the time. It's summer here in Australia. I know.
Yeah.
Because actually you're on the other side of the equator for us.
Yeah.
South of the equator, the seasons are not backwards, they're just different.
So in Australia for Christmas you play
Eggnog all
Tavarua,
the
the
way.
surfing game.
Eggnog all the way.
yeah.
Gaming
man.
After Graduation asks, since Battleship exists, if you had to pick, what game would you want to see turned into a movie? Clue gets a pass. That movie is fantastic. Hashtag Tim Curry.
That movie is fantastic, actually. I don't know if you guys have seen. Have you seen Clue?
I've seen Clue. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's solid.
Yep.
You haven't seen Clue?
Matt,
It's
No.
actually good.
Matt, have you seen Clue?
Nope.
Bro, it's hilarious.
It's pretty good.
It's hilarious. A little creepy, especially when you're a little kid.
Man, but it's got Tim Curry in it, so.
Yeah. What board game would I like to see become a movie?
Dude, there's a ton that I could think of. You could make a ton of movies out of some of the IPs for board games.
I know some movies I would want to see board games right now.
Spectre Ops would make a cool movie.
I was just
yeah.
thinking of like Spectre Ops. Like that would be a lot of fun to see.
I would
Yeah.
totally watch a like sci-fi epic in the Twilight Imperium universe, just because I really want to see cat people and turtle people and stuff like that. Be awesome.
I don't know. It'd be kind of funny to see, but I don't know if it would be. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. It wouldn't be the same. I don't know.
I mean, if you put the right story on like a lot of games, dude, I'd love to see a movie set in the Above and Below universe. That would be awesome because that universe just seems super interesting to me with the near and far and above and below stuff. You have people that are going underground and searching out for different things. Could be pretty cool.
So I have a couple that I can think of. I think
I'm ready.
Pandemic Legacy would make a pretty decent one.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that'd be pretty cool.
think, I think if you did Deception sort of in that like Seven style, where it's like super sort of gritty,
Uh-huh.
I think that would be a pretty good film where you're following 4 or 5 people, but you're not necessarily sure of like how the narrative fits together. Almost like a. Did you guys ever play Heavy Rain for the PS3?
No.
Okay. That game sort of has a storyline that functions like that. I think that'd be super cool. And then the jokey answer I have, I want to see Dixit made into a movie, just because I want to see how that works. If it's just like random pictures.
It's just like a straight acid trip for an hour and a half.
I mean, yeah, that's okay. Watch Koyaanisqatsi, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't know. Basically the same thing.
Is there any other ones you'd love to see made into a movie, Rob?
Mansions of Madness.
I would love to see some solid like love. I know
Cthulhu. That'd be kind of
there's
cool.
There's movies that have like Lovecraft themes, but I'd love to see some really amazing adaptations of some of the stuff from.
Like, there's some other
Mansions.
ones that I'd like to see, but there are already good zombie TV shows or good sci-fi TV shows that are similar enough.
For sure.
You know, but I would love to see some TV shows be like, I really want a good mystery board game. Like, does anybody have a good mystery board game? I'm still into that show Mindhunters. I've already watched it and everything, but like, that was just really cool to like learn and figure that stuff out. So if anybody knows like a good murder mystery game, let me know.
Yeah, Time Stories would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not the same though.
Yeah.
I think Time Stories is like a miniseries, like an HBO miniseries, where like each episode's like an hour, hour and a half. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. I'd be there for days.
We get to see what happens to Bob quicker than it is with these slowly rolling out expansions.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. I
Awesome.
forgot about Bob.
Jerome
I thought you guys
Nowak
were talking about Bob with
asks...
Stranger Things. I was like, no.
Oh, don't make me cry. No, I'm just kidding. If you could play only one publisher's games, who would it be and why?
Can we say like one publisher that blankets? Could I say like Asmodee?
I'm about to say
And it
Asmodee
comes-
is the easy answer, but I'm pretty sure that's cheating. But if you had to pick one studio, since they're so big, I mean, everybody already knows my answer to this question before you even ask it. Because if you look at my shelf, like more than half the games on it are from one publisher. So
Yeah, you're a Fantasy Flight.
yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, I don't know. Most of the stuff they make, I enjoy. They make too much stuff that I enjoy that I can't even play at all. Like, you know, I could dig into LCGs for forever from those guys. I can't play those games because there's just too many. So they make too much good stuff. But I'm just like, they make those thematic epic games. It's ridiculous.
That's so tough though. Like, I don't want to answer this question.
I know.
'Cause, like, as soon as I say something, I'm gonna feel terrible about it.
I actively try to find games from other publishers and play them. So, but yeah, there's a ton of amazing publishers out there. But it's hard when people have giant catalogs.
Right? That's like the only reason.
If
Man,
other people
like-
had catalogs as big, they'd be...
Okay, I'm not going to say that answer just because you said it, even though that, in all honesty, that would be my answer.
Right.
Just because, like, 2 of my top 3 favorite games of all time are from that, whether it's Game of Thrones or Mansions of Madness. I would say backing up, like, if I got to have Fantasy Flight and I'd probably, cool stuff. Not cool, Cool Mini or Not.
Yeah.
It's just hard because I love Cool Mini or Not. That's not the thing. It's just like letting go of like Gray Fox and letting go of Plaid Hat Games and letting go of like Arcane Wonder and
Right.
letting go of some like some of these smaller companies. It's just like,
CGE.
man,
CGE
you
makes
make
a ton
really
of good games that I like.
or Tasty Minstrel or other stuff like that. It's like these companies make really good games, and to like never play them again, like that's. Ugh.
I think there's...
I'm really torn between Plaid Hat and Haba.
That's awesome.
You want to do Cool Mini or Not just because of Blood Rage and other stuff?
Man, okay, Blood Rage is good, but the thing is, I feel like in the long run, if I had to choose, Plaid Hat is going to make more games that have better story elements in the game than Cool Mini is.
I agree with that.
And that would be where I would want to stay. And the only reason I'm saying Haba is because those games are
just fun.
great. It doesn't matter. So,
like they do make freaking awesome games, man, and they're all kid games, but I still love
Yeah.
them.
Absolutely.
What was I gonna say?
But man, if Plaid Hat puts out a dexterity game, Plaid Hat all the way.
If I only played Cool Mini or Not games, I would probably get into their miniatures games also. Like start messing around with those.
Well, see, I also like. I'm excited for their Song of Ice and Fire.
Right? Yeah.
I like their like they have Xenoshift, they have Zombicide, they have Bloodborne, they have Song of Ice and Fire.
But Matt's right. They don't have those like deep narrative games.
Well,
as
they also
much.
have Modern Art. They have The Godfather. Like they actually are starting to expand their catalog. I don't know if they have any dexterity games yet, but if I learned anything from this year's Cool Mini or Not Expo, it's that Cool Mini or Not is in the business to stick around and to be a force. Like they're not just doing plastic anymore.
Yeah.
Like
I think
like what was that? Not Lagrange. What was that game that they came out? It was a superhero game. I can't remember. Lee really liked it. It's like brown. It's like olive color.
There we
I don't
go
know.
again.
It's a worker placement game, but he loves it. Like they're really starting to do stuff like that. And so like if I think of Cool Mini or Not, like I really love
Lorenzo
Modern
El
Art.
Magnifico.
I think it's something like that.
Lorenzo. Yeah.
They also have Potion Explosion. I really
Wow.
like Potion Explosion. My wife likes Potion Explosion.
yeah.
See, I feel like with them I could get a bunch of stuff.
Yep. I mean, that's
I'm
just the thing is you just pick one of the companies that has a ton of games and a ton of like good ones. So
They also have Ethnos. I like Ethnos. It's not my game of the year,
yeah.
but it was a fun game. Ugly board though. Ugliest board. Biggest letdown. But see, I'm with you, Matt. Like if I pick that, because I think Plaid Hat has probably got like the best story element. Maybe not the best themes, right? Because they can't afford those themes. But when they deliver a story for a game, it's to me, their games. I always get immersed in those worlds.
Oh yeah.
Always. And so it's hard to let go of that.
Yeah.
I'm honestly excited to see what they do since, they're part of Asmodee now. If it's one of those things that you'll see, like app integration, how Fantasy Flight's doing it, if you'll see app integration for like Jerry Hawthorne games and stuff, so he can basically just keep pumping out scenarios and stuff,
That'd
I
be
think
so
that would
cool.
be so cool. You get like a book full of maps, and then you just get a bunch of tiles that you can change the maps if you wanted to, and it's just like, here we go!
Hype.
And then it just turns into D&D with stuffed animals, and you're like, who doesn't want that?
Awesome. Well, Ashley Perdella asks if you could add more roles in Deception Murder in Hong Kong, what would they be? After all our Deception talk.
Okay, if we could do what?
If you could add more roles into Deception, what would they be?
I feel like that game is pretty tight as is.
Yeah, I don't know if it needs any more.
Yeah, I know there was some roles that they were adding in.
I think they added 2 in this new Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But like I don't want it to necessarily fall the way of how like Classic Werewolf does, where it's
Right.
like you can play it vanilla and it's fine and it's okay, and you can play it with a few crazy things and it gets really good, and then you start playing it with like a lot of crazy things, and it just becomes like, man, you are the Chupacabra, what? And then most everybody's like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. Like that guy over there's got bombs. He's just killing people for no reason. Like what's happening?
Yeah.
Because it's like
I think
the
to add
more-
some of those mechanics in, you have to start
Yeah.
stretching it and being pretty zany with it. So makes the game sillier more than anything else. It makes it less strategic and more insane.
I would not necessarily add a new role, but I would add a new mechanic
Yeah.
to the game. I think it'd be really cool. Like when you're playing with the murderer and the accomplice, if all of a sudden, like let's say you get to like round 2, like you're done with round 1, the beginning of round 2 or the beginning of round 3, all of a sudden the accomplice could come in and add in one of their items to what the murderer used. So now you're trying to figure out multiple stuff, or the murderer can add a third clue So maybe it's 2 of the blue or 2 of the orange, or it just kind of trips it up a little bit more. Like,
What if What if there was a roll that woke up during the night and before the murderer chose? Wait, that probably wouldn't matter that much. But they were allowed to like switch up the items that people had or something like that. Or if there was like a super accomplice that before the murderer actually chose, they got to move a couple of the items around from in front of people, so they could set it up a little bit better for the murderer.
Yeah. No, it's the corrupt police officer. So he's like shuffling around evidence, so you're not necessarily sure.
Right.
That would
And
be
so
crazy.
that way, because I mean, a lot of times, sometimes someone just gets hit hard because the way that the random items are, there's not a good choice that other people have. But if like one person has like 3 things that are poison, if you distributed those a little bit more, maybe they'd only be able to swap like 1 weapon and 1 clue or something like that. But that could be pretty fun, you know. And then
What
it'd
if
be
there was
like
like a
people
super
would-
witness?
People would wake up and be like, why are my items changed? Who changed my items? That'd be kind of fun.
Huh. It's a good question, Ashley. Ashley,
Nice.
you're the best.
David Bach asks, what game was your gateway into the rabbit hole of board gaming? And side follow-up question for fun, do you still regularly play it? I'm pretty sure me and Rob have talked about ours tons, but for me it was definitely I played tons of board games and tons of like games growing up, and for me my intro into the hobby, for what I consider like he said, going down in the rabbit hole of the hobby, like actually getting into the board gaming side of everything, was definitely Battlestar Galactica. Because I even played Betrayal at House on the Hill and some stuff like that occasionally growing up. I played a ton of Bang and Carcassonne and Settlers of Catan, but I didn't like become an avid board game fan until I played Battlestar Galactica and realized like, holy smokes, this is what board games can do. And as I saw cooperative board games rolling out, that's when I really like stuck firm into the hobby and was like, holy smokes, I need to like research this more and get more into it. But yeah, playing a bunch of games of Battlestar Galactica definitely brought me into the board game side of tabletop gaming. What about you, Matt?
Mine is probably Betrayal at House on the Hill. Like that's one of the reasons that I started coming to like your game night and stuff. I was like, oh, Roy's got this game. I like this game. Or at least I think I'll like this game. I don't know. Let's go find out.
But you had seen it on tabletop, right?
Yeah. So I watched it there and I was like, dude, this is pretty cool. And I played it and I was like, this is really cool.
And
it's
now you're
still-
like, this game is
me-
slightly broken.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a really fun game, though.
I
Like,
think
if
it's
somebody's
really
like,
fun.
hey, let's play Betrayal, I'm not going to be like, nah. I'll be like, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
But yeah, I definitely still play Battlestar Galactica. I am having a game day soon, coming up in
Yeah.
next weekend, and I had a poll on there of what game do people want to play most, and Battlestar Galactica currently has the most hits of the game that people really want to play. So I'm probably going to be playing it next weekend. So yeah, Battlestar Galactica for me for sure. What about you, Rob?
Risk Legacy. I remember like that was the game that got us crazy, and then that same like it was like the next week I went out and bought Game of Thrones and Battlestar Galactica, and then we
That's
played
awesome.
those, and then we played more Risk Legacy, and then like the week after that or 2 weeks after that I played Mansions of Madness. It was like in a month we went through a board and a half of Risk Legacy, Game of Thrones, Battlestar Galactica, Mansions of Madness. It was absolutely awesome. It was a very bad time in my life. Because I wasn't selling real estate at that time. I was on a fixed income, and my wife let me know how terrible I was.
Awesome.
What? Oh, real quick, what scary thing are you guys talking about in chat?
Darth linked a comic called All Night Laundry, which is an interactive horror comic about time travel and stuff.
That sounds cool.
So that's what they're talking about. I'm definitely going to have to check it out. It looks great. I looked at the first panel of it, and it reminded me of there's this one horror comic online that's like, if you've seen it, you know it. Like as soon as you see it, you're like, oh no, it's that one. I'm not dealing with this. But it's like you click through it, and it's like, hey, everything's fine. And then it turns into a video at some point. You don't realize it, and then something just turns up, and it's like, hey, and you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna get away from the computer. I'm just gonna go leave and cry for a little bit. It's not great. But yeah, anyway.
Nice.
That was a random rant.
No, I asked. I didn't know what was going on. So thank you for answering.
Adam Sparks, aka Adam Sparkles, asks, would you consider the gravity of Robert Newman's good looks to be like that of the sun, a supernova, or a black hole? Follow up, how close can you get to his beard before you get burnt and or turned into gravitational spaghetti? Because, you know, when you get sucked into a black hole, the spaghettification happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And final follow-up, would it be worth it?
Absolutely. Certain people can get closer than other people. I'm just being honest.
So the center of your
ask your wife.
The center of your good looks gravity is the beard? Is that how that works?
No, the beard is the Venus flytrap of my good looks. It brings you in, you think you're safe, and then it gets you. But the money maker are the eyes and the whole face. The whole face. That's the complete package. But the beard is the Venus flytrap. It's what gets you, and then the face is what keeps you around. Yes, some people can get close. Other people won't have the chance to get eaten by my Venus flytrap, but that's okay. Yeah. He's got picky taste. Side note, hey Matt, I went to that cowboy place in downtown Winston, the Brazilian grill.
Oh yeah.
The Gauchos. It was actually really good.
Yeah.
Steak was it was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
I do want to know, just like a black hole, the closer people get to you, does time like dilate? Does like time slow down because of the handsomeness, or does it just like, is it like one of those like scenes like love scenes when they see you and it's like the music starts playing and everything's in slow-mo? Is that how that works?
It's like that until they get close, and then they're like, oh, you really do look like that, and they try to run away, but by that time
that's when the spaghettification starts. Yeah.
And so like they're stuck.
Nice.
But yeah, no, like when you get close enough where you can consider it a black hole, you've lost. Like that's not good. Like I pay my wife a lot of money to stay. Like please, just tell me I'm pretty. Just stay, please. Here's more money. So
now I hate to be the guy and throw Adam under the bus, but since gravity works based off of mass, is he calling you fat?
Hey man, I started doing yoga. That's why I was late for the show tonight. And you know what?
There is a lot of mass.
There is a lot of me to love, and that's fine. I'm happy with my personality, just not my body. But I'm yogaing it up. I'm doing some stretches, and we'll see. And I'm not doing it for anybody else but my girls. I can see my girls are going to be very expensive, like their mother, and so I need to be around to make sure I'm in debt for my entire life.
Nice.
So
that's a positive way to look at basically slavery.
Well, I was like, I've got to pay for cars, and my daughters will get scholarships, but I still got to pay for some college. Then I got to pay for weddings. I don't know, man. I did not grow up with the support system. Mm-hmm. And so I want to be able to give that to my children, not necessarily spoil them, but if you want to compare their life to mine, then yes, definitely spoiled. But like, I know how it sucks when like you're living off of dried milk and you're eating rice or ramen again for like the 7th day in a row. Mm-hmm. And I don't want my daughters to ever experience that. And I want them to have the best. And that's expensive, bro. So sometimes I'm like, you better like that dried milk.
Yeah.
But not yet. If I keep doing all this Kickstarter stuff, they will.
You're like, your inheritance is board games.
Yeah.
Welcome to plastic.
Actually, here's the funny thing. We did our will earlier this year,
Nice.
and they actually don't get my board games.
Nice.
My board game collection is in my will, and it does not go to my family.
There you go.
Are you like me? Would give it to somebody who you think would play it a ton?
Yeah, it's all going to Lee.
Yeah, Lee's gonna be piling in the games.
So here's the funny thing: like him and his wife, they did their wills, and if they were to pass away, we get their daughter. We're super close; like they're our family. But if we pass away, they just get our board games.
That's awesome.
No, but I love Lee to death, and I love their daughter to death. She's fantastic, such a great girl.
Yeah, Lee's super cool.
But like we have family that has already vocalized that they really want our children if something were to happen to us. So it's a little bit different situation. But Lee definitely gets some board games. Lee, if you're listening, I love you. I think you're handsome. You are my black hole. You are my Venus flytrap.
So Chuck asks, how do you think your perception of the hobby has changed since starting the show? Are you more critical of certain aspects of the hobby now than you would have been since you were considered media?
Yes.
There's a lot to this question too. He also asks, unlike many board game enthusiasts, you have consistent contact with various designers and are now sponsored by a game company. Do you think that skews anything for or against what you are working on? Thanks, guys. Love the show. So what do you guys think? I don't know. I think being like in media just makes me like seek out and be more. I mean, I was already searching and listening to podcasts and board game media and all this stuff before ever doing this, and now I like continue to do it even more because I'm like, gotta have stuff to talk about on the show and things to do. One of the things that I know has changed is trying to play new stuff to be able to talk about it. And that can be kind of stressful sometimes, like always being like, gotta play the new thing and all that stuff. As far as being sponsored by a game company or anything, like Tasty Minstrel Games is awesome and stuff, but I don't know of that many other games that I'm just like, yeah, awesome. I really enjoy Cthulhu Realms and things like that, but like Tasty Minstrel Games is cool, but I don't think there's never been a time when I'd be like, oh man, I have to promote this game strongly because this. It's like, I just want to play good games. We play so many games. I just want to play the games that I really enjoy. So I don't think that's going to infect anything as far as that goes. What do you guys think?
Well, and they make good games and stuff like that, but
that makes it easier.
Our contract with them is not to say, buy this game, it's the best, blah, blah, blah. And that's one of the things I like about
I really need to play more Tasty
them.
Minstrel games. I haven't played enough of them to be able to have as big of an opinion on them. Like, I'd love to play more Scoville because Matt has that. It'd be awesome to play that.
Oh,
But-
I also bought this thing because it was like $5 somewhere. I don't even know where I'm picking this stuff up from anymore.
Oh, you got an expansion for Scoville?
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Bro, it just comes, right?
It just shows up. You're like, hey, $5 here, $10 there.
That's one thing that has changed about myself. Like, I just find myself spending more on this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness. I would say this. What's changed the most about me, I would imagine, is I've gotten a little bit pickier.
Uh-huh.
And I'm happy about that for the reason, like, there are all good games. There are a lot. Well, they're not all. There are a lot of really good games. But if I'm going to buy a game, I want to buy a game that I'm really going to like and I'm really going to play. And I think what helped me the most was last Friday. Like, I was super excited for that IP. I thought it was going to be great. I was super pumped. Let's do this. Let's get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt and I played the game. And I just remember looking at him like, this is so disappointed. Like, it hurt my feelings how disappointed I was.
Yeah.
And so it's made me more critical to like, okay, before I spend this money, maybe research a little bit more or try to demo it somewhere, something like that. The media aspect, I really don't care. Like, if anybody gets the bonuses of the media aspect, it's Roy, which makes sense because he does all the work. Matt and I pretty much just show up on Tuesday night. Roy does everything else, so that doesn't bother me at all. I love the media aspect for the fact that like it's helped me meet people.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Like going to conventions and stuff. Like I love people like, oh Rob, hey, what's up? And then they get up close and they're like, no, run away. But they're stuck because of the black hole. But no, like I like that. But the thing is critical. The game's got to be good. If I'm going to put my money on it, I'm not just going to buy anything now.
And we've played so many more board games now, and there's so many good ones that we want to replay. So it's like when something new comes out, it's like if this isn't like as exciting or more exciting than the games we already have, it's like, man, I'd really just be rather playing these other awesome games. I mean, there's people that only have a few games in their collection, so they're probably like more reticent to be more accepting of games. But since we've played so many at this point, we're always playing new stuff at this point, it's just like, well, I'd really rather be playing Dead of Winter or Blood Rage, like games that are tested and tried and true, as opposed to something that's like, that was fine, but there's other things that are better. So playing a lot of games, I think it's just with anybody, playing a lot of games is going to make your tolerance for games go down. But yeah, definitely all the relationships and meeting people has been really awesome through the podcast. So that side of the hobby has been crazy, because getting to get in there with all the awesome people on the internet, having all our awesome chat people that we get to talk to every week, our little Epic Gaming Night crew that we have in here is pretty awesome. So
to answer your question, Darth, yes, I have tanked a social deduction game, and it wasn't so much as a prank, but it was to mess with Roy. It was one of the last games of Resistance I ever played with him. Turning one, I came out
only
as
game
the bad guy
I've ever played.
And nobody trusted Roy from that point out, and he was so pissed. He kept smacking the table, and I was just laughing. And it was, if you're halfway paying attention, it's pretty evident that I was a traitor, but still, nobody would trust Roy.
Here's the thing that made it worse in that game is that, like, okay, they marked us both off, they hated both of us or whatever, but at the end of the game, they allowed you to go on missions with them.
Yes.
At the end of the game, they trusted you more than me, and I'm just like,
it's because I'm a good salesman.
Why?
Man, that's the first and only game of Resistance I've ever played. I don't remember how to play the game. I don't remember doing anything other than sitting there and laughing at you two. I don't think I will. I don't
Matt,
think I
remember he just started smacking the table and clapping his hands like, oh
yes.
my gosh. Okay.
It's like, Rob, why are you
clapping?
doing this? I was just like,
why is this happening?
Here we go.
Just kept clapping. It was hilarious.
Rob was just bitter from Shadows over Camelot. It's okay.
Yeah.
Bro, Shadows over Camelot, I'm still bitter over that game. You did that twice to us now.
Nice. Cool.
Also, I've sabotaged a game. I ran a version of Deception that had no murderer one time, and that was just bananas fun, because I was just like, all right, yeah. I did. I think at Mini Mace.
You do?
I think you were in that game. I was just like putting down random bullets, and people were like, "What is happening? He's in a bedroom with a banana. Like, what is? I don't."
I've heard some crazy stuff before, like people playing Spyfall where everyone's a spy and everyone's just asking questions and nobody has any clue where the location is. And then I've also heard of people playing Fake Artist Goes to New York, where everyone's the fake artist, like no one knows what they're drawing, so everybody's just like putting lines on the page or the paper and no one's actually really drawing like a specific thing, but they're trying to figure out what's being drawn. That sounds really fun. I still really need to play Fake Artist because it sounds awesome. But yeah,
me too.
Gamey Yeti asks, what gaming movie would be what movie, just movie period, would be greatly improved if it was made into a musical?
What?
It makes no sense. It has nothing to do with board games. What movie would be greatly improved if it was made into a musical?
I don't like musicals. So
none of them is what Rob says.
Man.
I will say this. I did like La La Land, but I did not like the opening scene. That was like my worst nightmare, when they all got out of their cars and started dancing and singing on top of the cars. Mm-hmm. We went on a double date. I looked at the other husband and we almost walked out. The rest of the movie was really good. I'm trying to think of like the worst movie ever and
I've
just
got
make that a
I've,
music.
I've got one. I think it's a super deep cut. It's called "One from the Heart" by Francis Ford Coppola. It was after he did The Godfather, and it
Yeah.
like he was on top of the world. Everybody loved him, and then this movie was just hot garbage. Everybody hated it. I don't think it's that bad of a movie, but I feel like the way it is sort of cheesy and like how it works, I think it would actually be a musical very well. Like it lends itself to that styling.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
That
mind
movie
something.
is ridiculous.
I wouldn't mind something as long as it's in the vein of Dr. Harble's sing along blog.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But other than that, there's not like a musical that I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. I'm just not into the musicals.
See, like I like the kid musical stuff, like watching
Man.
Frozen or Sing or other stuff
Man.
like that. But I can't think of like a movie. I don't know, man. I'm just not a big musical person, and I'm. You think I'm picky about board games? I am a super snob when it comes to movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But I also watch movies with a certain mindset, like I know what I'm looking for.
And singing is not it.
Well, no, here's the thing. Like, if I go to watch the movie like Transformers or something, I'm not looking for great action or great acting. I'm looking for special effects and fighting. That's it. And it bothers me that all these people watch these movies and are like, well, they should have done this. You're talking about characters based off of a toy or based off of a comic book. And the comic book is not even like a deep comic book. It's superficial. And so anyway, but when I go to watch a movie that I know is going to be dramatic and stuff, a movie that I did not like, that got a lot of critical acclaim, There Will Be Blood. Turn that into a musical. I thought that was overhyped. I was not a big fan of that.
Wait, is
There
that
Will
the
Be
one with
Blood
Daniel
the
Day
musical.
Lewis?
What?
Is that with Daniel Day Lewis? They're like
Yeah.
out west mining
Yeah,
gold.
I think he won an Academy Award for that too.
I feel like anything he's in, he just wins awards for. They're like,
Bro, he
"This
is a
dude's
phenomenal
back."
actor. He is phenomenal. I mean, I thought he was great as Lincoln. One of my favorite movies ever is Last of the Mohicans. That man running through the woods, he could rescue me anytime he wanted. Anyway, the soundtrack in that movie is that's what sells it for me. The soundtrack. Can't tell you how many times I listened to that soundtrack. So good.
Trevor Roberts, not sure who that is, asks if the Imperial Assault app will kill Descent for me or Rob. So what do we think about the Imperial Assault app, and will that kill Descent for us?
Descent's already died for me. I already sold off my stuff.
It's crazy how hype you were about that when you were first playing it. Like, you were insanely hype.
That wasn't
The
long
Descent
ago,
stuff.
too.
Yeah.
I was until everything is like out of print, and
Oh, yeah.
it's all like freaking like $50+ for like a basic expansion.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, I'm not going to pay all this money for stuff that you're not even making more stuff for. Like, you're not even making more of Descent. And so that was my reason behind it is, I mean, I liked it. I played the app. I played a couple games with actually other people. I played it. It was fun. But Fantasy Flight has got a reputation
I
of
think
dropping games.
They've put out more
And-
scenario for the application, too. They've
Sure,
got, like, a whole other
scenarios,
one.
but not like expansions. And the expansions that are out there, you're getting it like third-party market, and they're all high.
I think that just has to do with them staying in print and coming back around. So
And so that's my hope for Imperial Assault is because they're still making it, the expansions won't be as high.
yeah.
In fact, I was looking at expansions this weekend for it, for some of it, for some of the big box expansions. So I'm very excited for this. I'm happy. I was going to give it like 4 more months before I sold it off, but now since I know the app is definitely coming out, I'm going to keep
It's
on my
already
stuff.
the app's already in the Steam store. It's just like not actually activated yet.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get some of the expansions to go with it, but super excited for it.
Yeah, I'm interested. Playing the Descent app for me, I got a deal on it. I traded and got a bunch of Descent stuff all at the same time. So now when I try to play the app, I have to dig through tons of tiles and monsters. So I still want to play through it, and maybe I'll wait till Scotty's a little bit older. But he seems super interested in wanting to play through the Descent stuff. But I'm hoping with Imperial Assault, since I just have the base set, it might be easier to get to the table without having to dig through so many tiles and put the map together. Just the way that Mansions does it is just so much easier. And the tiles are easier to put. You don't have to like snap them together the same way that you have to with Imperial Assault. Maybe that's just nitpicking. But it'll be interesting to see. Trevor says in chat that he's disappointed that there's no way to play the Imperial side. Which I thought that was interesting. I thought after all the development they've done on this, or all the work that it seems like they would have done, they would have made it where you can play both sides. I don't know.
I mean, I assume that'll probably be a future expansion, right? So, like, if their sales increase a whole lot because the app comes out, they'll be like, hey, guys, check it out. It's the Dark Side expansion where you can play as all of your favorite villains. And then people will be like,
well, see, you can now with the skirmish mode. It's
Right.
just not the one versus many. And the skirmish mode will be on the app. So
Is the
we'll see. That'd
skirmish
be
mode
cool if
being
they
in
did
the
that.
app?
Yeah, they said every mode that's available in the game now is going to be on the app.
Oh, that's crazy.
And so what would be cool, though, is if they came out with the app, like Spectre Ops app, Emerson, if it ever comes out. You know how, like, you can play both sides on the app? That would be cool to see that, because then you can do the Imperial. Side note, complete side note. Darth Vader's talking about Mad World. You guys remember Gears of War?
Yes.
Man, one of my favorite video game commercials of all time is for the first Gears of War when they're playing Mad World, when he's running through like the beat up town and he jumps through the wall. And all of a sudden there's that huge monster with all the eyes and just the song is going off. If you got a chance, YouTube that right now. Gears of War 1, Mad World, such a great video. I remember watching that video like 100 times. I pre-ordered that game so hard. Like if there was a Kickstarter for that game, I would have gone all crazy for it.
man, speaking of good video game commercials, the live-action trailer for ODST, Halo ODST, was
oh my
good.
goodness.
It was
Halo
like-
had some of the best video game commercials.
The song that was on it was called like Lament, I think, by like Light of Iden or something,
Yeah.
but it's like all Celtic, and I'm just like, oh yeah,
Yes, I know
this is
exactly what
my
you're talking
jam.
about.
They should just make that into a movie. That was,
They need to
10
make
out of
Halo
10.
the movie. They've got plenty of stuff out there now. Man.
but it's like I'm just worried that they'll do it and they'll be like, guys, check it out, it's Transformers but with Master Chief, and I'm like, I don't want that. I want literally that like 30-second commercial you guys put out 9 years ago. That's what I want.
That's awesome.
Hey, Adam and I are talking about the same thing. He's just, yeah. He's like, because of the delay, he's now talking about it in chat. That's awesome.
Hype. Awesome. Well, this has been the podcast. We're at
This
the
was
end
a
of our
fun show.
questions. It was fun. We always like to do these Q&A ones occasionally. It's just fun to just talk about random topics that
We'll also win
else is
guests
new?
back out of the show. We won't tell you who the guest was going to be because they do plan on coming back. But we were going to have a guest tonight.
hype. Awesome.
But didn't you say they were coming next week, or is it like a
It's the week
out?
after next.
Okay.
Hype.
We are Z's, Adam. Mwah.
But yeah, so make sure to check out these podcasts. We stream Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. Make sure to come hang out with Adam in chat. Don't be trying to advertise your crazy stuff or he will block you.
Hashtag bouncy.
Hashtag bouncy. Good times. But yeah, also we want to thank all of our amazing patrons on Patreon. You guys help us do the show and help pay all of our bills and keep the lights on. You guys are amazing. And we good for Patron of the Week?
Yes, real quick. I like Ashley's idea, though, top 10 of the year. And we are still doing dice.
Oh, yeah.
Dice type. A lot of people are. But you know who doesn't need dice? You know who is their own dice?
Oh yeah.
You guys know who I'm talking about. I know Matt and Roy know who I'm talking about also because it's in the show notes. But everybody else, they're going to know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one and only freaking Spencer Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins comes to Spencer for advice. That's how great this Hopkins is. Spencer Hopkins, you are a commander of commanders, sir. You are the alpha of alpha players, and I mean that in a good way. If I'm in a rut and I know something is going to go down, if I'm playing freaking Mansions of Madness and I have to pick my team, first pick, Spencer Hopkins. Why? Because your last name is freaking Hopkins, and I'm going to hope that you're related to Anthony Hopkins. And then I'm going to be like, hey, bro, can you get him that autograph? But second reason, because you're a huge board gamer and because you put up with us. But first reason, I hope you're related to Anthony Hopkins. And if you are related to Anthony Hopkins, remember how I keep saying that, and maybe you'll like, hey, man, yeah, I am. But listen, Spencer, we appreciate you. You are freaking awesome. I'm in a good mood tonight, Spencer. And you know I'm in a good mood because I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you long and hard, Spencer, and I've been saying, man, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy. I want to grow up and aspire to be like Spencer Hawkins. Hopkins, not Hawkins. If it was Hawkins, he would just make it better, but Hawkins is from Stranger Things. And Spencer, speaking of Stranger Things, if you were on Stranger Things, you would be number 100. You wouldn't even be 11. The Demogorgon and stuff, they wouldn't have a chance against you, Spencer. You just walk up into that place and everything would be whatever you wanted it. If you wanted everybody to be in the Upside Down, boom, they'd be in the Upside Down. If you wanted everything to be fine, boom, it'd be fine. You have that kind of power. You are the Mind Flayer, Demogorgon, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You are everything. You're everything to me, Spencer, and I miss you terribly. Come home, Spencer. We've been trying to call you. Come home. We love you. We miss you. Just ranting at this point, but we appreciate you. Appreciate you so much, Spencer. Come home. We miss you. Thank you for putting up with us. I don't know why you put up with us. Mm-hmm. Have an amazing night. We appreciate you. Mwah.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, everybody who supports us on Patreon. If you would like to support Epic Gaming Night.
Spencer saves Deb. That's how OP Spencer is.
Make sure to check us out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. You guys are great. Speak his name.
But though, for real though, if you are related to Anthony Hopkins, bro, tell him to listen to our podcast. And I'm a big fan. Not of some of his newer films, except for the Thor film. He was good in the newer one. But I like some of his older stuff. So tell Anthony to give me a call. Or you can give me a call too, Spencer. Whatever works.
Nice.
Guys, we did it. I know nobody cares, but Bitcoin's over $10,000 a coin.
Do you have any Bitcoins?
We in there.
Are you selling out?
No. Gotta hold till I retire. It'll either be more or less. It doesn't matter.
How many Bitcoins do you have?
A number.
A percentage? Do you have a whole Bitcoin yet?
I'm pretty close to having a whole Bitcoin.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, man. This mining thing's pretty okay.
Until your computer catches on fire.
I run my computer 24/7, Rob, to just mine Bitcoin.
How do you do that, though? Like, what is it?
Let's close the podcast. I'll tell you.
This has been the
Tune in
Bitcoin
next
part
time on the
of
Bitcoin
the Epic Gaming Night podcast.
Yeah.
You know
we
who
talk
came
about
up with Bitcoin?
and
Spencer
how
Hopkins. Spencer Hopkins came up with Bitcoin. The next coin is going to be a Spencer coin.
Dude, hashtag bouncy coin. That's what we need.
Matt is
Hashtag
part dwarf,
Hopkins
except he
rules.
doesn't mine in a regular mine. He mines Bitcoins. What then?
Boom.
Yeah.
Peace. You
Chat,
guys are
you're
amazing.
awesome. We love you.
Bye.